Hi, it's Fraser Malcolm here. So picture this, it's Friday, you haven't played golf in 2 months, over 2 months, and you're standing on the first tee. Hopefully by a real ball. Oh, missed it, there we go. Let's flick the top of it. Oh, thinned it. You know, the whole thing with not having played for ages, from my experience, is everybody hits too hard, hits too fast, and we see a lot of thins and a lot of tops and a lot of bad shots. So today's video is going to be about what to think about to get you back playing after a layoff, and also importantly how to warm up when you haven't been playing, because if you haven't been doing any full swings for a while, then your body's not used to it. You need to get your body moving. Body's like an engine that you wouldn't run it without any oil. It's got to get warmed up. Or certainly you wouldn't run it without any warm oil. Cold oil you can't go full out. So we'll start with some basic stretches and things like that. There's a multitude of different things you can do. I would start with, and there's also the thing where you don't want to be, if you've got your mates there, and you don't want to be doing too many full out things in case they start, you know, having a laugh at you. But you can take this sort of thing here, just stretching your wrists back and down. You can hold that for 10-15 seconds on each hand. I won't do that right now, but that type of thing. You've also got just simple circling your arms. Just get your arms moving. You've got to do certain arm ones and a few leg ones just to get you going, and then forward circles. Also have a look at the videos by Anita Edwards, personal trainer I've been working with. Done 5 videos. She's done 5 videos which are all golf specific exercises which you can do in your own home. They'll help you build up strength and speed and flexibility and balance. Another one for the legs is a good one, is just the little, this is hopefully not too embarrassing, just a wee squat down like that, just holding the, looks like a dance routine. There we go, down there. But I mean, basic, any exercise you do before, any sort of fitness that you've done in your life, something towards warming up. I do things like, you know, you can do this one where you can hold a club away above your head and bend down to the floor as much as you can, and then back up again. You know, one over the head where you tip forward into a golf position. So if you look at it this way, tip forward and hold it, and then back, and then hold it again. And then you can do forwards as well. So you go towards and just hold it, tipping forwards like that, and then back and forward a bit like that. And also I like to do holding 2 clubs, but not ferociously. You don't want to see anybody swinging this too hard. Just take it easy. This is just to help stretch out the golfing muscles again, slowly and easily. I'd highly recommend doing something before you go off, especially when you haven't been playing for a long time. In terms of the golf swing, when you're on the first tee, as I was saying and I showed at the start, you know, lifting up, being too fast can cause bad contacts. And when you haven't been playing for a while, it is easy to lose your tempo and your timing. And one of the things to do before you go off is to take an iron. You can do it with a driver if you want, but with a driver is slightly different because you're hitting slightly above the ground. This one is good just for giving yourself confidence that you're staying in position. So when you're doing your practice swing, you want to flick the ground, that noise. So you might take that for granted, but actually that's showing you that your body's coming back to where it needs to be, to where the ground level all the time. So when you're hitting a real ball, that's you coming back down, you're cutting, grazing the grass and hitting the ball away is how you're thinking about it. I'm not going to hit a real ball at the house, don't worry. So yeah, trying to get that noise is good. If you swing and all you hear is thin air, don't just ignore it. Slow down, try and keep your body in position, try and keep your weight on your toes, and just get that little flick of the grass before you go off, because that's you keeping your swing arc in the right place where it needs to be. And it'll work for a driver as well, because you're still just maintaining your position throughout the swing, and you'll hit the driver off the tee. Hit balls in a net if you can. So I'm not sure whether the net at the Glen is actually up and running, but if you've got a net, then go and by all means hit some shots, but take it easy. And then when you're playing, focus on a slower rhythm. And I've seen even really good players after long layoffs go out and consistently hit bad strikes to the point where they're hitting it along the ground for a few holes. And it is not until they just start to slow down and think about keeping nice and central. So when you're going back to this after a long time, you've got to think, I don't want too much movement. You never want too much movement, but when you haven't been playing and your body's out of sync, it can be more exaggerated. So you should try and focus on simple things like keeping your head centered in the backswing. Try and keep everything nice and central, so you're thinking about your head. So you still want movement, you still want fluidity, but you don't want to feel like you're racing off into your backswing and you're pulling your head out of position and you never get back to where you started from, and you're hitting the thins. Hitting it along the ground, just to show you again, is because you're too high when you get back to the ball. So you start with the club on the ground, and then something in your swing, your effort to try and hit it, you maybe raise your knees slightly and you come in and you catch the ball too high and it just goes straight along the ground. So you've got to try and keep everything calm and focused. So I would definitely take a bit of fire out of your swing to start with, because you'll probably be swinging at what you normally swing at. When you go back, you tend to always be a bit hurried and a bit keen to hit it as far as you can. So it's really the main things when it comes to the swing. When you're putting, when you're doing your short game, I would always say, you know, your feel's going to be bad, so let's keep it again really simple. And so whenever you can round the greens, putt. So you know, if I'm off the green here, going for that, well, I'll tell you what hole I'm going for after I hit it. Yeah, I was going for that one. It still isn't very good, but it's roughly the right distance. But the thing is, when you haven't been putting, when you haven't been chipping, you know, your technique isn't rehearsed, whatever, then, you know, just take it easy out in the course, get the putter out whenever you can. The ground should be nice and hard and dry at the moment, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to hit putts from off the green. But that will give you a chance to get your speed right with your arms, because your judgment of distance is reliant on how much speed you're using here. So then when you go to the chip shots, you can, after you've hit a few putts close and you're forced into a chip because the grass is too long, you're going to have a slightly better feel. You're going to have a little bit better idea of how soft or hard you need to swing. But remember your basics when it comes to chipping, that, you know, when you haven't played for a long time, sometimes your setup thoughts might go, or you forget what you're doing. Narrow stance and just keep it back and forward like a little bit of a putting stroke. Keep everything still. It's all about, when you go back after not playing, going back to thinking about your setup stuff, your basics. And when I haven't played for a while, I think about my grip. I think about trying to get that right, trying to get the grip pressure right, keep it nice and soft. And then I think very carefully about my stance, nice shoulder width stance, and then a really good posture, keeping that back straight, a little bit of knee flex, and you're ready to go. So you've got all your fundamentals in place, and now you're thinking about a nice smooth action, and trying to stay centered on the way back, and get that flick of the grass with your putting stroke. But hopefully that will help minimise the pain when you go back. Sometimes when you go back, you haven't played for a long time, you're not expecting anything, so mentally it's a good way to be. Your expectations are low and sometimes you can surprise yourself. So I hope you all enjoy it on Friday if you can get a game, and I'll maybe even see you there myself.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button, make the bell go ding. Make sure to smash it. Smash that like button. Make sure to